Hey everyone! I am so excited to share today's video with you. This is one I've been working on for a couple weeks now. Just really happy to share this today. Today's video is going to be a 10 looks, 1 palette featuring the Wands palette. This is from the Emily Edit, which is a collaboration between Makeup Revolution and Emily Noel 83 here on YouTube. I've been wanting to do a multiple looks, 1 palette video for a long time, and I figured this would be a great palette to start with because it's huge for one. There are 24 colors in here, so much color variety. So my goal with this video is really just to show you what this palette can do, to show off a variety of looks. You know, I figured 10 looks would be a good way to be able to use all of the colors in here. You will see me use every color from this palette in this video. And I think it's also just a good way to show you how the shadows apply and blend. I've got a few quick notes before we get into the actual tutorials. So first of all, I just used the Milani eyeshadow primer for every look. I didn't set it with any eyeshadow or any powder, anything like that. And I really just wanted to focus on the eyeshadows for this video, so I'm not using any glitter glues or wet brushes. Next, I decided to do these tutorials voiceover style. I figured a voiceover might be the quickest way to get through 10 looks, so this video might be on the long side. So just know that I've cut out a bunch of things like dipping my brush into the shadow. I cut out a ton of blending. Regardless of what eyeshadow I'm using, I always cut out a lot of blending in my videos because I like to keep the clips real time so you can see how the shadows apply, but if I left in all the blending, you guys don't have days to be sitting here. And it's cut out in the video just for the sake of time. And finally, here's a photo of all of the looks that I created for this video. You'll see a tutorial for each of these looks here, and if you're only interested in a couple of these, then feel free to pause it right here. I've got a number by each photo, and there will be a timestamp listed below so you can kind of navigate between the different looks. Also, I will be posting photos of all these eye looks on my Instagram page over the next few days. That is linked below in the description box. So I'll post a photo of each look and I'll list all the colors that I used. And then I'll also be posting some full face photos to go along with that, just to show you a lip color that I paired with each eye look. So the eye look I am wearing now is in the video, and in case anyone's curious about the lip, this is the NYX Liquid Suede in Club Hopper. I think that's everything. I think that's all the things I had to mention before we get into the tutorials. So I really hope you enjoy this video. Thanks so much for watching, and really hope you enjoy the tutorials. Starting off look 1 by using a flat shader brush and packing the shade Capricorn all over my eyelid. Taking a small brush with a little more fluff and the shade Apartment, I'm blending out all of those edges into my crease. Continuing to blend out the look, getting an even bigger fluffy brush and using the shade Hobby to blend out the shade Apartment. And moving back to Apartment, that matte brown, just smudging that all along my lower lash line. And then I'm blending that out with a clean brush to make the edges nice and smooth. Using the cream under my eyebrow to highlight my brow bone and to continue to blend out my brown shadow, and then taking Oh Heavens in my inner corner to highlight. And there's look 1, just a very simple brown smoky eye. Starting look 2 off by blending the shade Dues Paid on the outer half of my eye, and I'm focusing this above my crease, and as most of the product gets deposited, I'm then slowly bringing that to the inner half of my eye so the effect is lighter. Then I'm taking the cream under my eyebrow because I felt like I blended that up a little bit too high already. Now moving on to the shade Family, just tapping that on my outer corner, trying to build it up slowly, and then blending that shade in my outer corner. I was not a fan of the brush that I chose for this section, so if it's a little funny, I should have used a smaller brush right here. Taking the shade Belle Violet on a flat shader brush and packing that all over the front half of my eyelid. I'm blending out Belle Violet with a little bit of Prayer to soften those edges, and then going back to Family and using a little angled brush to pack that on the outer third of my lower lash line, and then taking Prayer one more time to smooth out those edges. And then highlighting my inner corner with the shade Eve Rose. And here's look 2 all finished. Going for a graphic shape for look 3, so just starting with a little eyeliner brush and the shade Dark and Early to sketch in the eyeshadow shape, basically going for a big wing cat eye look, and then just looking straight on in my mirror to make sure it looks how I want to when my eyes are open. Then I'm sticking with that black shade and I'm packing it in the edge, the outer edge, the back end of the wing, just filling that all in with black. And then I'm doing the same thing with the shade Corduroy, using a really small brush here so I could be precise. So this took quite a while, just packing the color on in small little sections. And now for some shimmer. This is the shade Side Hustle, and I'm swiping this on the first third of my eye and using the flat end of this brush to meet up with the shape I drew earlier. And Emily's mentioned before with Makeup Revolution shimmers in particular to kind of drag the color and swipe it, so that's what I'm doing here to make more of that metallic shimmer pop out. And then basically go back and do that whole process again. Just keep building up those colors and use your brush to pat between the border of each shade to kind of meld them together, and just keep doing it until you get it how you like it. This is a little dense brush with some micellar water on it and just cleaning up the edges of this eyeshadow, getting rid of any darkness and just helping shape the eyeshadow in case there's any little funny spots. And once the micellar water had dried, I went in with the cream under my whole eyebrow, again just to get rid of any darkness and make it nice and bright in that whole area. Going back in with Dark and Early, packing that on the outer third of my lower lash line, and then using Corduroy along the rest of my lower lash line. And blending that out, smoking that out with a clean brush. Then going in with the shade Grateful on my inner corner, and using a bit of the Urban Decay Perversion eyeliner pencil in my lower waterline. And there's look 3. Starting out look 4 with an almost non-existent amount of Midwest. Just using this incredibly lightly in my crease. I don't want a lot of color in my crease for this look. Then I'm using a flat brush with Laugh Cry and packing that on the inner and outer corners of my eye. And taking a fluffy brush to soften out Laugh Cry. Doing the same thing with Love Tons in a smaller, more concentrated area, and then giving that another quick blend as well. And then in the center of my eye, I'm using Cupcake, just patting and swiping this on, bringing it above my crease to meet the matte shades on the inner and outer corner. Another quick blend over all those edges, and then using Oh Heavens under my eyebrow as well as my inner corner. And so sorry my camera was not recording for my lower lash line, but really simple. I just put Love Tons, the darker shade, on the outer third of my lower lash line, and Laugh Cry really lightly on the rest of my lower lash line. So sorry it cut out there. And here's look 4. Starting off another look with the shade Midwest. I'm blending this above my crease from my inner corner to my outer corner. And now even deeper in my crease, I'm using the shade Cheer, also blending that all the way into my inner corner area and a little bit on my outer corner as well. Next it's the shade Pi Phi, and I'm tapping this on, just kind of working to build up the color. I do this a lot on my outer corners, just tap on the color and then blend it out. Tap it on, blend it out. And for the shimmer today, I used the shade Pizzazz. Just putting this on the front half of my eye and blending it up above my crease a little bit to meet the transition shade. And I thought I would attempt a wing for today's look, so putting on a really thin line of the NYX Matte Black liquid liner on my eyelid as to not cover up any of the eyeshadow, and then just creating my wing, basically following the shape of the eyeshadow, My wings tend to be pretty low when I do them since I have a partially hooded eye. So just drawing it backwards here and then thickening up a couple little spots from the bottom, from the top, just trying to get it to look nice. And then I started with Side Hustle here, but then I moved to Dark and Early for my outer corner of my lower lash line. I wanted it to be a little bit darker on that corner. Now I moved to Side Hustle, and then for the front half of my lower lash line, I went in with Grateful. And then took a clean brush to smooth out all of those edges. And there we go. There's look number 5. Using some tape here, which is something I haven't done in months. But anyways, starting with the shade Top Story, packing this all over my eyelid, above my crease a little bit. And moving on to the shade Corduroy, starting with this in my outer corner, meeting up with the tape a little bit, and then blending this throughout my crease to blend out the edges of Top Story, and then bringing that all the way into my inner corner. Just continuing to blend this for a little while because it's my only crease color today. Using the cream to highlight my brow bone and clean up any little dark areas. Then taking some Dark and Early in the outer corner to add a little bit of depth. Peeling off the tape, left that in because it's a very satisfying feeling. Using more Dark and Early on the outer corner of my lower lash line with a little angled brush. Doing the same thing with Corduroy, just pressing that against my lower lash line. And now I'm drawing just a straight line with Corduroy under the rest of my lash line near the tear duct to create a little empty space right there. And then filling in that space with Top Story. So just bringing the gold from my eyelid basically down into my tear duct area and then in that little empty space we created. And here's look 6, all finished. I've done at least a couple of looks with this palette that are a little more on the smoky and dramatic side. So for look 7, I wanted to do something very simple and easy, maybe something a little more work appropriate. So just starting this look by blending Prayer above and throughout my crease, and taking that on my outer corner a little bit as well. Then using the shade Eve Rose all over my eyelid, and this is a duochrome shade. It's got kind of a light lavender base, but when you pack it all over like this, it just turns out as kind of a light gold. Quick blend over those edges, and you could very easily leave it like this, matte in the crease, shimmer on the lid, very simple. But I decided to add a little bit of depth in my outer corner, so just tapping a little bit of the shade Family on my outer corner and blending that out. Then using the shade Oh Heavens to highlight my inner corner, as well as under the arch of my eyebrow. And there we go, we are 7/10 of the way through this video. And here we are at look 8, starting off this look by taking the shade Good Vibes and placing that all over the front half of my eye, so on my eyelid and above my crease too. Doing the same thing on the outer half of my eye, but with the matte shade Cheer, packing that on the outer half of my eye and taking it out towards my eyebrow a little bit too. Using the shade Apartment, just tapping some of that in my outer corner to add some depth. And now I'm blending out the edges of Good Vibes with the shade Midwest. Doing the same blending on the outer half of my eye, but with a little darker shade Dues Paid. Just want all of these edges to be nice and smooth. Then taking a big, clean, fluffy brush to blend everything out. And using the cream to blend out some edges, highlight my brow bone. And also taking Good Vibes into my inner corner tear duct. I'm sorry about the focus in and out here, just using Apartment under my lower lash line and blending that out with Midwest. Using the Ulta Gel Eyeliner Pencil in Chocolate on my lower waterline. And that completes look 8. Welcome to look number 9, starting this one out by using the shade Laugh Cry, blending that into my crease, above my crease, taking it pretty close to the inner corner of my eye and really building it up here, just winging it out towards my eyebrow. Now I'm going in with the shade Pie Fi for at least the second time in my outer corner. It's just such a beautiful, rich shade, and just building this up and blending it out in my outer corner. Still using Pie Fi here, but just on a smaller brush. I want to keep this really concentrated in my crease. I don't want to cover up Laugh Cry. And now using Oh Heavens on the front third to front half of my eyelid, trying to keep this out of my crease for the most part, just trying to keep it on my eyelid. And now I'm using the shade Grateful, packing that in between Oh Heavens and my matte outer corner. Just really working to build this up and then taking a little smaller brush so I can be a little more precise, doing that same thing with Oh Heavens. And then I'm also taking Oh Heavens into my inner corner as well. And as is typical, using the cream to clean up my edges. And there's look 9. We've made it! You have survived 9 looks. And here we are now at look number 10, starting this look off by blending Hobby from the front part of my eyebrow all the way up under that front section and then out towards the end of my eyebrow. Going in with Family, blending this on the inner half of my eye, again taking it kind of right up to underneath my eyebrow, close to the bridge of my nose. Adding in a little bit of Love Tons here, and blending that towards the center of my eye, staying above my crease. Going in with Corduroy on my outer corner, just building and blending here. Kind of dragging this shade down at a sloping angle on this inside edge here. Just like that. And then on the empty part of my eyelid, this is about right in the center, I'm taking the shade Heartbeat and packing it all over that empty space, not going above my crease too much here. And then in the empty spot above my crease, I am putting the shade Belle Violet. I decided that this look is really just a grungy tornado of color. It's one of the looks that takes a long time to come together. It looks really funky until the very end, and I guess you can decide if it even comes together at the end. I hope it does. And also using Belle Violet to highlight my inner corner. Taking Corduroy on the outer edge of my lower lash line and building it up a little bit in my outer corner again, since blending can wear a little bit away. And then blending over that to smooth it out. Using the cream under my brow and then also to clean up the front part of my eye. Smooth everything out, get rid of darkness. Using Grateful on the center of my lower lash line where there was a little empty spot. And then taking a little bit of Laugh Cry under Corduroy and taking a little bit of Corduroy, blending those two shades together, and then cleaning up that edge with the cream. This is NYX Blackberry going in my lower waterline here, and this is it. 10 looks with the Wants palette from the Emily Edit. Really hope you enjoyed these tutorials. I had a lot of fun creating all these looks.